walk what I'm calling Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans. We are infiltrating enemy territory. The Cowboy fans are doing it right. We got the signage, we got the great food, we got the inflatables. Thoughts on today's game?
We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
Woo! You see this right here? How do you feel about today's game?
We better win, that's all I know.
How do you feel about Dak Prescott after last week's performance?
Dak Prescott has been very consistent with the division. He has took us back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You know what I mean? He has winning records above. You can say what you want about the past 7 years, but on our division, he has been owning it for years.
Are you a Dak rider or are you a Dak hater?
Before he broke his finger, I was a rider. Now, nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the CanFan podcast.
Look.
Go!
Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go! Cowboys Nation represents! Cowboys Nation represents! Let's go!
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. All day, every day.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you because you've sucked. Oh God.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Fucking we got it.
This is our year.
Look at those beers! Look at those beers! Look at those beers! Look at those beers!
Let's go! Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation showing up!
Most pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds and, you know, they can
Not only the size, but the speed of the linemen? Are you kidding
fly
me?
on the field.
You're telling me a guy that's 330 pounds meant to block a guy that's 290 pounds is faster than me? A sporty 240?
High 240. High 240. High 240.
I could beat any one of those guys right now, and I've drank a 6-pack.
What? You're wearing Crocs!
My 40 time is better than any of them.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
Erroneous!
Erroneous on all accounts!
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
How'd I do?
13-5.
Final quarter, here we go, baby! CeeDee for the CeeDee! And I'm going for 2. Woo! I don't know why my safety was just playing off so far.
Tackle him!
Yeah, well, I might be a boomer, but you sound like a pipsqueak. You don't even know how old I am.
No!
You little shit. You didn't win the game, I lost it!
Make sure you know where he is, because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key situations.
I might be old, but at least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game Marry, Kill? Okay, like I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill?
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm gonna Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm gonna marry Dak.
She's gonna marry Dak.
I'm gonna kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out. Jerry Jones, you.
So Jerry?
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay.
You.
Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Tony Romo. Tony Romo.
So that means you would kill Dak?
Yes.
Marry Dak. Kill Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Oh, here we go.
AJ, you have to sleep in this for the night. Yeah. Football we already got. AJ's trying to take a piss right now. Trash can.
Stickers.
Stickers.
Couple stickies.
Couple stickies? Yes.
So we got a trash can. We're gonna go test it out in the toy aisle.
You're not getting it first.
First try.
He's not getting it. Give these guys a shot. They'll win a jersey if they get it. Oh, none of us made it. Come on, Dad. You get a free Cowboys jersey if you get it. None of us have made it. Dad's going for a shot. Come on, let's get it. Oh, that was the closest one.
Felt like the closest. That gross? Yeah. We all missed it, so don't worry about it. We missed it. You guys were in the game tomorrow? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Us too.
Not only are we giving away 3 jerseys for whoever can toss a football into that can, we're also going to be leaving the can so someone can take that home too.
Look, there's still practicing Dolly Parton set. Ooh, you're a little mess up on the. No, it wasn't. That was just a little tease. For a second, thought it was Wednesday night.
Oh, cues are on. Entrance music.
Adam loves it. Ad loves it. Ad loves it.
screws up the music. Adam's gonna boosh in his face.
Ad's making funny.
That's what we do here.
Ad's favorite part of any intro is just a new song. Just singing. He just loves to sing. Did he mute you?
Son of a bitch!
Did mute you just got booshed at your own game.
Just been booshed.
How does it feel? Because you always mute me. How does it feel? A little taste of your own medicine.
I got him.
The taste of the old sound medicine.
It actually doesn't feel good. I shouldn't. I'm not going to do that to you anymore.
I like it because you started talking and then you realized that you'd been muted. And I got a great sense. AJ, well done. Good,
Thank you.
Good little gag there.
and that whole time you were talking, I didn't switch to you. So that's
Crack him if you got him.
If you got him.
Crack him if you got him on this fine Sunday service, guys. How you feeling over there, bandwagon boys?
crack him if you got him.
Feeling good. Weekend's been wild. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's been wild.
And I have not done anything but sit at home. And
just,
that's how wild.
Were you just watching all about it or what?
Yeah, I guess we can just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Canada got eliminated from.
Oh man, a lot of stuff going down to our neighbors in the south. I mean, everyone knows what it was. It was pretty crazy. So I don't know if we're going to touch on it too much, but it was pretty crazy. In other news, yesterday Adam and I partook in a 2v2 football game with his kids. One of his kids was on my team, my nephew, and then his son was on his team, and I fucked my ankle up.
Was it like the Corey movie? The story of two Corys, and they're playing on the beach with their dads, and they're playing like a touch.
I know, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good game.
I've never seen.
Oh, you haven't?
Let's just say this: I shut Ad's bitch ass down on the goal line.
Yeah, but then he said you.
Yeah, he walked away with an injury.
I walked away with an injury, but it was a tie game. It was like we kissed because it finished in a tie. And the main reason it finished in a tie was because we did 2 halves and I was dead. I was gassed.
How does that equal to kissing?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
a tie. Like a tie, they say is like kissing your cousin.
Oh, okay.
In this way, it was kissing our brothers. But
with tongue.
With tongue.
Welcome to the CanFan Sunday service.
I mean, hey, these 7% drinks hit hard, and not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
But yeah, Anth was walking around. He's like, yeah, it's shutting you down. And I was telling him that we were the comeback kids. Literally, Riker and I could not catch anything for the life of us, in and out of our hands. So very disappointed. Made Riker get up at 5 a.m. today and catch 350 balls. And I said, hey, you shouldn't have dropped the ball. Game-winning touchdowns on the line, and you're going to go ahead and fucking drop it? Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
I want you to have one of those football passing machines, and you're just sitting
Jug
there.
Machine?
You're just sitting there with a beer and a basket full of footballs.
Dropping them in.
Dropping them in, and Murphy's bringing them back.
Riker and I have been watching Receivers, which is now on Netflix, and that's exactly what Amon-Ra St. Brown and his dad did. They went on they had a game they were losing, and this one kid had really good hands, and his dad went up and asked, what are you doing? Why does your kid have such good hands? He goes, oh, we have a jug machine, and I make my kid catch 200 balls after practice every single day or whatever. I catch 200 balls a day. So he's like, okay, well, we got to get one and do 202. So as soon as Riker saw that, he's like looking at me. I'm like, dude, they're $4,000. We're not buying.
They're $4,000.
They're $4 fucking grand.
Yeah, well, you know
American.
what? Amon-Ra St. Brown made it to the NFL, so technically that was the best investment that his father ever made.
His 2-time Olympian father and both of his kids made it to
technically
the NFL.
The best investment they made was
hell of a lot better genetics than you.
Well, that's his wife letting him dump some batches in her. That was a good investment.
Okay, well, hey, guys, guess what? We have a guest on today, a very special guest, the villain of the CanFan universe,
Dun, dun, dun.
the Dak hater himself, Barry Grant Jr. of the All Even Podcast Show. What's up, Barry?
How you doing, guys?
There
Love
he is.
everybody. Love everybody that has the Mountie mustaches going on right now. It's really, really cool. I appreciate it.
Did you say Mountie or Mount Me?
Did you say Mount Me?
Mount Me mustache?
Mount Me mustache?
Either or.
Yeah, both, right?
So in Canada, July is a mustache month.
Mustache month. Must have mustache.
Must have mustache month. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a real thing, but we're gonna say it is. Barry, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be here, man. It's been a long time. You know, you guys are still trucking along, doing your thing. I appreciate it. Love seeing it. Love seeing all the content that's going on. Obviously, there's not much to speak about with our Dallas Cowboys right now because it's like a moot point in the offseason, right? And we're pretty much in a holding pattern because we're like, sign somebody already. Somebody needs an extension. Who's it going to be, right? Who's it going to be?
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
And that's kind of what we were going to talk about today. So I feel like Barry just booshed us right into the first topic, do you think, or what?
Yeah.
Or do you have something else there that you want to start with?
Absolutely. I mean,
I didn't know it was Barry Grant Jr. show, but whatever, right? Fuck us, right? Okay.
No, well, Antha shared this recent post, I guess. Oh, wait, that's not the one. Sorry, my bad. Hang on. Let me find it. It looks the same. There we go.
Yeah, this guy right here.
So, yeah, Barry, good intro, good segue into basically the Cowboys' free agencies over the next 2 seasons, and that's not including what we just went through, which was a lot of release, not a lot of intake. A lot of outtake. What is it? Outtake? Outgive? Whatever.
Outsourced.
We didn't bring any free agents, let's say. But here on this list, and if you have eyes, you can have a look. But if you're just listening, I can read it off to you. In 2025, the Cowboys' free agencies or players who are Dallas Cowboys now and are set to hit the free agency are Dak Prescott, Brandon Cooks, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke Elliott, Osa Odigizua, no doubt.
Yep.
And Kevontae Turpin. That's 2025.
Yep.
And in 2026, a shorter list, but still a pretty damn significant one. Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, Jake Ferguson, Deron Bland, and Brandon Aubrey. So that's a sizable portion, and you could probably say, I don't know, 80% of them. That's all good. 80% of them are starters, or in a position to be playing significantly.
And even like you could even go a bit further than that and say there's a bunch of them that are Pro Bowl players. You got a bunch of Pro Bowl players there. You got Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb, I mean, Zeke back in his day was. Osa could be. Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, Jake Ferguson, and Deron Bland. That's some high-quality talent there. All set to hit free agency. And actually, we're kind of already hitting a little bit of that fallout right now, like Barry had talked about with this restructuring and re-signing. Like, CeeDee Lamb's not showing up. Luckily, Dak Prescott, I mean, a lot of people talk shit about Dak Prescott, but he could be doing the same. He could be not going to training camp too right now if he really wanted to force some hands.
Well, this is and let's get into this talk, but let's focus on the big three, the new triplets, as I like to call them. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb, and then let's move into like these kind of, I guess, tier 2 in comparison, but still very significant for the Cowboys. So Prescott, Lamb, Parsons, can we even sign them? Like, what's the potential, and do you see them being Cowboys for another contract, like their second or third contract, whichever it'll be?
Barry?
I think it's a very tricky question, but I'll try to answer it as best I can. I think when you think about the three guys, there's two of them that are possibles for me, and there's always going to be one that's a bit on the fence. I think Micah Parsons is going to get his money. That's gonna happen. I think CeeDee Lamb, if history always, history tells you that a receiver, he goes ahead and he misses camp. There's some negotiations that are happening behind the scenes. 9 times out of 10, that guy's going to get his money, right? Like, you're never going to see a top 5 receiver really move teams that often very early in their careers, right? It doesn't happen. I think Dak Prescott might be the one that's a question mark for me personally, because I think that 4 years ago when he got his contract, a lot of the fan base, and I think it was kind of split. You had people that supported it. A lot of people were like, listen, let him test the market, see what the market dictates. And then if that's going to be something that happens in regards to a re-signing, or he walks to some other team, then so be it. I think this is where we are now, right? Where I think the Cowboys can be able to say, listen, let's see what the market is. If you want to be a Cowboy, then give us the right to be able to match that, come close to it, whatever it is, and then see how it goes from there. So I think 2 out of the 3 definitely possible, but I think that Dak out of all of them is more of a let's see what the market dictates for you, rather than them going ahead and bidding against themselves. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it totally does, because again, Micah and CeeDee Lamb are both on their still rookie contracts, right? So they haven't ever had a chance to test the market. CeeDee Lamb, well, I don't know. There's been rumors about that $32 million amount that he wants to get paid, and I don't know if that was ever proven or disproved. And then you got Micah Parsons again, a top-tier talent, even with some of the noise about his offseason activities. He's still a top-tier defensive talent in the NFL. You don't let, like you said, Barry, wide receiver talent get away, and you sure as hell don't let edge rushers get away, right? So both those guys, I imagine, will be signed. I don't know if Micah's going to get it this year. He'll probably kind of help be in the situation that CeeDee's in right now next season. But I'd be very surprised to see the Cowboys go into the season without CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott signed. In my mind, I think they're both going to get deals done in the summertime.
So those are your 2. You got Dak and CeeDee.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That's I think all 3. This right now, I think they're going to sign, restructure, resign, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Dak and CeeDee. And the only reason I think that is because to be able to get CeeDee the contract you want, I think they got to fuck around with Dak Prescott contract to be able to free up money down the road. So to get CeeDee, I think it's almost a prerequisite to have Dak under a new contract, because he's just got so much money tied up right now. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the case or not. I feel like Dak even feels like he's going to be getting a contract before the season starts, because not a lot of
the way he was dancing,
way he was dancing at that wedding. He seemed like he had some sneaky suspicions. But it's rare that a top tier quarterback, and I'm going to say he is. He's in the top 3 tier, no matter what anyone says. For a guy like that to not go into a season with any type of security, right? Like, what if he goes and breaks his ankle, or what if he goes and throws out his arm, or does any of these things? Not a lot of professional athletes want want to really risk it all on just themselves that year. So in my mind, I still think they get a deal worked out with those two guys before the start of the NFL season.
Yeah, and Dak is getting to the point where obviously he's still a healthy young guy, but every single year you move forward is the year that the body can start to fail you. Something I know quite a bit about. As I'm
Don't we all?
Yeah, as I'm getting into my low 20s here, right?
Yeah, what's your birthday next month? What are you turning, 23?
Every year for the past 17 years. Yeah. But this is an interesting question from Jeff Parsons. And in true DallasCowboys.com fashion, we're taking what the questions they're given to answer, and we're not going to read their answers. We're just going to, use it for our advantage. So appreciate it. And Nick, eat me out.
Eat me out, Nickman.
Nickman. Did you say?
Nick, eat me out, Nickman. So this is the question. Jeff Parsons from Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo.
How doable, Amarillo, which means yellow. How doable is actually signing Dak Prescott, Lamb, and Parsons? I realize the $250 million cap will go up. We know it's going to be around 270, 275, probably 273 next year. But aren't we talking at least $120 million per season to sign all three? So, split that up however you want. If you defer some of that through signing bonus, the bill eventually comes due either way. Wouldn't over 40% of the cap be taken up by three players? Can a team be competitive if three players are taking up 40% of a cap, basically, is the concern.
Out of that 40%, how much is Dak Prescott?
He'd be like 18.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But would you spend? I guess the question is, would you spend 40% of your cap on a starting quarterback? A true number one wide receiver, and then a basically top three defender, no matter how you split it.
If I'm going to answer this question, I would compare it to, here's a question that I would ask. What good is a Ferrari without a good driver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a cute garage ornament,
right? Like it's a nice ornament. It looks good, but if you don't have a real legit guy that knows how to be able to, gear up and drive that car, what I'm saying is that you can do this, right? You can do this in Kansas City. You can do this in a place like New England. You can do this in all of these places that have had success over the years, right? But you need the right coach. You need the right system. Do we have that to be able to commit 40% of our cap to these guys? Because with a coach that knows how to get the most out of his roster, then you can be able to take some risk in drafting guys, maybe take some risk in some bargain bazaar deals here in regards to what positions, right? You can be able to kind of like fill it in and get and improve in the margins. That's my biggest concern, is that if we go ahead and do this and Mike McCarthy's still the coach, I have some concerns about how viable we're going to be going forward. We just might be a very high-priced team that kind of caps out at whatever potential they have, which is not necessarily Super Bowl.
No,
it's what my concern is.
Like, well, we've already, unfortunately for us Cowboys fans, we already we know what, it's almost like we already know what their ceiling is with the Mike McCarthy
exactly.
and the Dak Prescott.
We've seen it already.
It's a divisional, making the divisional round. That's unfortunately right now, that feels like their ceiling. It really does. Does that, to me, I still believe in one more. They're giving these guys one more year, regardless what us fans think. So I'm gonna get behind it. Like I'm gonna get behind Dak being there, and I'm gonna be CeeDee and Micah. Like, you need CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons going into the next 5 years, no matter who the quarterback is and no matter who the coach is. If you're not keeping Mike McCarthy and you're not keeping Dak Prescott, you sure as hell better be keeping CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, right? Because
whoever the young quarterback he's going to need a number one anyway. So.
Exactly. So you're going to keep those guys regardless, right? But you make a good point, Barry, with the coaching. If you have a coach that can then allot those players to do what they need to do. My thing that I'd like to look at is how, and we're not going to do this today, this is just kind of for discussion, is what other teams their top 3 players, what the money looks like spread out. Because it can't be far off of 40%.
Too late. AJ's already deep diving down the stats.
I think maybe the best team to be able to use as a comparison got to be the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, the Chiefs would because you have Jones on defense, then you have Mahomes and I would say Kelsey on offense. So you got the 2 offensive guys, and then you have your stud defensive player. So that's something that kind of team would do the same thing. I mean, even you could kind of even say Miami roughly. I don't know if Tua's got his second contract yet, but in Miami you have Tyreek Hill, you have Jaden Waddle, and then you have like Chris what's his name, Chris Wilkins, the lineman that they just paid. So I still think every team in the NFL that has a top 10 quarterback, they're gonna have at least 2 other players on their team that are superstars that roughly, I would say at least 35 to 40% of the salary cap is.
No, it's true. It's definitely true.
Guys.
I mean, if you look at teams like we said, the Chiefs, if you look at the teams like the Rams, right? Like they have a very high percentage as well in regards to their star players. But like I said, the difference between us and those 2 teams is the head coach, right? We would trade Sean McVay for Mike McCarthy any day of the week, right? And you read the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the difference between our rosters is that, the talent is pretty comparable, but when you go into the X and O's and the execution, that's kind of the question marks and the concerns that you have.
The only thing that can kind of put Dak Prescott, well, not the only thing, of course, but one of the big things that can put Dak Prescott's future in jeopardy is, like you guys were mentioning, if this is Mike McCarthy's, champagne voyage with the Cowboys, and he's heading out for his last season.
What an alcoholic, eh?
No, what a wadaholic.
What a wadaholic.
Then it would make sense that if you had to pick from those 3, the quarterback would be the one that you'd want your new coach to come in and pick his quarterback. Or work with the new guy who's going to be coming up, whoever that might be. Perhaps he's on the team already, or perhaps they're going to draft him. But absolutely, like, CeeDee Lamb could fit in wherever on any team, and they have the routes for him. They have the plays for him. He's probably not going to have to adjust to anything except for timing with his quarterback. Same with Micah Parsons, completely different side of the ball. He's pretty much... The position that he plays is very individualistic in that he's rushing at the QB 80% of the time, right? So I think those 2 players make more sense if the plan is this is Mike's last year, we're moving on, and if you had to pick and choose between those 3. I think it's doable that to answer my original question, yes, I think you could spend that 40% on those players, realizing the cap's going to go up, but then you have to really have a good plan in place with who are the young guys that you're going to be bringing in and utilizing their low contracts to the maximum that you can, right? So that might mean fast tracking some guys to see if they got it or not, and a little bit of that is luck. But all in all, it really, maybe that's the breaking point, is like the Cowboys have not decided what they're going to do with Mike McCarthy, and the unfortunate thing is they're not going to know until week 6, week 8, end of season, I think it's playoffs.
That's the one guy I don't think is getting an extension.
No,
unless he makes it to a Super Bowl.
It's either. I mean, maybe if they get to the NFC title game, and I think they may consider that. But I'm with you. I think it's either NFC title game or past that. For him to be able to stay.
And then huge hypothetical here, but let's say there's some sort of if this then that at the end of the season, and Dak would be willing to sign with the Cowboys without hitting free agency for a fair contract, whatever his market value would be. But in that hypothetical, if McCarthy leaves, do you think the Cowboys should sign Dak, or is it time to maybe part ways at that point?
I think part ways. You made a great point prior saying most new coaches to a regime, when they come in, they would like to pick their own quarterback, which Mike McCarthy didn't get the chance with the Cowboys, right? Dak was the main.
Yeah, Dak was there.
He
Yeah.
was the main.
But I think that was kind of a part of it where I think he wanted to work with Dak.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, okay, he wasn't utilized properly. I can be able to unlock a lot of his potential.
Which
and he definitely didn't pick Trey Lance either because Jerry Jones just went out and traded for Trey Lance. But when you we also have to be aware we are the Cowboy fans and analysts are the only people who shit on Dak Prescott. Everybody else seems to think Dak Prescott is that top tier quarterback, coaches included. From at least what you hear in interviews and what most people say. So, for Mike McCarthy to come in and say, I have a Dak Prescott, he's also looking, well, who else is there? Does he have, is there a quarterback that they could actually grab in a draft or a trade that is better than Dak Prescott? No, there's not.
But the issue, and we're all seeing the pattern with Dak, and trust me, I still think he's the best option for the Cowboys right now. But we all see the pattern of the playoffs. It doesn't take someone that you don't even need to watch football. You could watch all of Dak Prescott's playoffs, and you would be able to point out that he was probably one of the worst players in those games, in the majority of them. I think out of all his postseason games, he had 2 good games. One was against Green Bay his rookie season, which actually he didn't start playing very well until the second half. And then his other one was against Tampa Bay. But that doesn't cut it when you're going into your 9th year in the NFL. What Mike McCarthy, and I will argue this for Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott has had his 2 best seasons statistically in the regular season under Mike McCarthy. 2021, Dak broke the Cowboys' all-time passing touchdown record with 37 touchdowns and I think 7 interceptions. And then last season, he had 36 touchdowns, I think 8 or 9 interceptions and 4,500 yards. If you can get that out of your quarterback year in and year out, you're going to be in the postseason. The issue is when you get to the postseason, you can't lose every single time in the wild card or the divisional. You need to have success past that. So that's where we're at.
The other question with Dak's stats too, and my answer is I don't really know, but I'm not personally willing to find out. But could the system the Cowboys have right now, how many other quarterbacks could perform as well or on par? I know Dak had an amazing season last year, so this is not necessarily the easiest comparison.
Well, you mean bring a team to the postseason?
Exactly. Yeah. How many teams could go 12-5 with the Cowboys last year?
How many quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks in the in the NFL?
Yeah,
I'd say 10. There's probably
I'd say maybe expand it a little bit, maybe 12 to 13.
Not many though. It's going to be under half. It's going to be under half. 16 at least, 16 and under for sure.
But in that, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. In that, then that's we always say there's probably about 15 quarterbacks that can play who you would lock up as your number 1 QB. So aren't we just extending to all of the?
That's what it is.
Number 1 QB.
That's essentially what it is.
Top quarterbacks.
That's essentially what it is. We saw it against Green Bay in the postseason. The offense struggled in the first half, and they didn't get the backing from the defense. Dak tried to force the ball, and they ended up getting themselves in this big hole.
Yeah,
it's
and then they started digging themselves out. We know that score wasn't the real.
Yeah, what was it, 48-32? That does not that doesn't even close to show what the game actually was. And that's been Dak's problem. I mean, a couple years ago, I believe 2022 against San Fran. And I sound like I hate Dak. I don't. I actually really, tell me I hate Dak.
You are a staunch supporter, so nobody can ever say that you
I am. I'm a Dak Prescott guy, right? Oh, AJ, toss me one of those too, babe. Crack him if you got him. But
sounds like you hate Dak Prescott.
Well, I mean, it's because I watch him in the regular season, and he dominates. He has dominated in the regular season. And then you get the San Francisco 49ers in last year's postseason, who were the top team in the NFL, and our defense held them to 19 points, and the Cowboys offense scored 11.
Yeah.
That just, to me, is that loss was worse to me than the Green Bay loss, because it was if you told me that in 2022 against that San Francisco 49ers team, the Cowboys defense holds them to 19 points, whatever extra money I have in my bank account, I'm putting it on Dallas.
Right.
And it just didn't happen. So it gets to the point, you keep seeing these flubs by Dakota Rain Prescott in the postseason, and it does get a little. At some point, you got to say, okay, we do have to change something up. I just don't think it's this season. I still think he's the go-to this year, But if it's the same rinse and repeat thing, I'm saying it on record right now. If the Cowboys go one and done or lose in the divisional round in the 2024 NFL playoffs, I'm done. I'm officially done, and I think it's time to move on from Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think there's two things, right? For me, I've heard Dak Prescott say, well, he doesn't necessarily want to be the highest paid, right? It's about making sure that whatever it is a reasonable contract. What is, at this point of his career, what is more important? Cashing out or actually putting, having a contract that's taking care of you because you're in a state that has no state tax. So you're getting all of that money. It's not like you're playing in Los Angeles or New York where they're literally cutting your money in half. Yeah. You're getting all of this money, right? So at this point, it's like, what's important to you? Building your legacy here as a winner and being able to take a contract that can be able to help the team really be competitive for the next 5, 6, 7 years and work in the margins and be able to be successful, kind of like that Tom Brady type of scenario. Not saying you're going to take bottom prices as a quarterback, but something that's going to keep the team able to have some flexibility with spending, right? That's what I'm looking for from him, because if you want all your money, then cool, but it sends a message to me that you don't necessarily care about the end result. As long as you're getting yours and you guys are getting to the playoffs, it's fine.
Playoffs.
There's another thing, as if we're Cowboys fans, so we live and die with every football game. We analyze the stats. We go ahead and look at everything. We see who's playing well and what the trends are. The national media does not watch the games the way we do. So when they say that, Dak is, you wouldn't replace Dak with it. Well, we watch the games more than they do. So of course we're going to have more of an opinion about what we're seeing from a game in, game out aspect, because we're analyzing these and breaking them down. They're not. They don't have time for that on the national media stage, right? So when I hear the Dak rhetoric, it's like, okay, yeah, he is good, but everybody has a ceiling if you're not a great superstar quarterback. And I don't think that he's there. I think he's good, but I don't think that he's this guy that can be able to win football games for you consistently. We've seen him in playoff games. When the games start, they look confused. They come out of the gate slow. The offense, that falls on the quarterback as well as the head coach. We've seen 2 head coaches already that, Mike McCarthy struggled, and then, Mr. 8-8 struggled, right? But it's the same quarterback with the same problems. Why are you starting slow when there's different coaches and there's a different system? You have to start looking at the person that's behind center. That's what I'm saying. So how many times are we going to keep getting fooled by the regular season stats because they're on par with all of these other guys? Okay, great. But what are you doing when the money actually counts? That's the problem. And that's what a lot of Cowboys fans have an issue with, is that it's the same bullshit every year and we're frustrated.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great take. But I know we're going to talk a little bit about a deeper dive into Dak's playoff record, because it's a nice segue. I do want to give some love to chat. I feel like
hey, before you chat, you know what I want to do? I want to get a little bit more love to my Sunday afternoon buzz. Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him.
Sometimes I just feel like Anth and AJ, since they're the new bandwagon boys,
Hey,
kick you out?
Hey, whoa. If you ever put that in front of my name, bandwagon boy, nah, son. Nah, son.
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it because you guys started off as bandwagon boys. That was your guys' moniker before you came in. This over here bleeds. You come over here and you cut me right now, and I will bleed. Well, probably red.
Until you have a tattoo of the Dallas Cowboys, I think you're just a fair weather fan.
I might get a picture of the bandwagon boys.
Yeah,
a tattoo of the bandwagon boys.
You get Alex's weird cartoon image.
AJ over here looking like the Hills Have Eyes fucking guy.
I don't know what's up with
Hills
that
have
snot.
eyes, Jay, and then Jonah Hill have.
Jonah Hill from fucking Wall Street.
And then fucking Mascara Adam.
Yeah, Ad wearing that deep. He's got that eye. What is it called? The tear line just mascaraed right up in that.
I was just at a heavy metal concert last night. Chill out.
Get off my back. Bot G, aka Boots on the Ground. What's up, y'all? Says Barry, with in all capitals with an exclamation mark. Of the remaining free agents, who do the Cowboys need to go after and get? Question mark. I say we need Gilmore back. So he's saying Gilmore, but out of that list that Alex originally had up there, we never really went down like.
No, but that wasn't free agents. That was guys that were gonna be free agents.
Yeah, so
Gilmore
Gilmore's no longer a part of the team.
So out of the remaining free agents, who do the Cowboys need to go and get right now?
Oh, so the free agents that are available.
Yeah.
But specifically, he's asking you, should the Cowboys go out and try to make a move for Gilmore?
Yeah. Stephon Gilmore.
Listen, I think yes. I think Gilmore was really, really good last year. You got to remember too, we had injuries in our secondary, which made him have to play a different role. And I think he stepped up and played as good as he can play. Right? He's not as fast, but he does use his intelligence. He does use angles to be able to get to the ball and be able to, keep guys in check. So if you have DaRon Bland and you have Diggs back, I think a Gilmore with that group right there it's a stronger bunch with him a part of it than not a part of it.
Totally.
So I do agree that they should get him, but maybe he wants more money because he believes that his value is still pretty high. But the fact that he's still available, I don't know if that's something that they can be able to negotiate and get him back on the team.
I have a hard time believing that the Cowboys didn't throw an offer at him, kind of.
Yeah.
And he, like you said, Barry, he's probably thinking like I have a little bit more left in me than to take what you guys offered me. I think, to be honest, I don't think Gilmore would hate missing most of training camp and then signing for a team when there's an injury to CeeDee.
Because injuries are coming, yeah. So
Injuries
he can
are
be
coming.
able to get, he can get into a situation that may be more advantageous to him in regards to getting more playing time. So we'll see.
Do you think most free agents are going to be like that too? Like, I mean,
older guys,
yeah, for sure.
The older guys, yeah.
Gilmore's move is to do what who the fuck was that? T.Y. Hilton did.
Yeah, like a T.Y. Hilton.
Sit back, wait until a team needs you, get paid X amount to come in and play, 3 quarters, half a season, and that's the correct move. Now,
I would still take him right now, though.
I would still take him.
If the Cowboys signed him, I'd be happy with it.
I just think that his asking rate is probably around $8 million
a season.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
That ain't cheap.
I do think so, because last year was $10 million, and I can't see him taking more of a hit. As the cap goes up, it's like he could probably just stay at $10 million. And if the choice is like get paid less than what you're expecting now, or just wait until the inevitable happens, like Gilmore, any team really, right? Like, I don't think he's looking for. I mean, obviously, if it's between a top team and a bottom team with the same offer, you'd go for the top team because of opportunity. But it's about just waiting and getting your money at this point, and hope that a playoff ready team runs into that position. I don't wish an injury on anyone, but just,
he's sitting there and be like, someone's going to blow that fucking knee out.
Yeah, it's true though. There's 100% going to be injuries in training camp. There's going to be a cornerback go down
in training camp, and then you've got to get through. Well, I guess you can sign a free agent at any point in the season, so there's no hard. But after week 8, it becomes like, okay, now we can't trade anymore.
Yeah,
now we got to sign you. So that's kind of like that money zone, and that's when fatigue sets in. Any of those injuries.
I think all Cowboys fans though would open Gilmore with open.
I'd open him up.
Him back. Right?
I'd open him up.
Open him up.
Welcome him with open arms.
Open him up.
Let me rephrase what I was trying to say.
Gary's saying that.
Sick.
Why don't we just open up?
Open him up.
So anybody else besides Gilmore, you guys, before we move on to some
I don't even really know off the top of my head who's still on the free agent market.
Well, it's a good thing AJ's here with
I honestly
doesn't have a list.
Well,
I do have a list, but I wanted to finish up with Micah Parsons talk real quick.
Let's do that.
Okay, cool. I was just trying to give our fans a chance to partake in this chat. That's all I was trying to do. So sue me.
That's fine. That's
Go
fine.
ahead.
But just don't battle me on this.
Hey, back to our regular programming.
No, we're going to go look at your stupid fucking free agents.
And then you know what we're gonna do after that? We're gonna sue you.
Yeah.
You're gonna sue me?
Yeah, we're gonna sue your ass.
You're gonna sue me?
Yeah, we're gonna sue you. But you're getting served tomorrow.
So shit.
Our buddy Mike Poland from across the pond,
Blogging the Boys, shout out.
The Boys, was on the DallasCowboys.com article with Mike Spagnolia. Mickey Spaghetti Spagnolia.
I don't know that.
And his point here, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts on this, because I don't know that it really matters at the end of the day, because a win's a win. But his point here was this, and I'm talking because I'm trying to find the point. There it is. Dak Prescott, I'm going to summarize this for us while we go through this. Dak Prescott's playoff record against teams who score 30 points or more is 0-3, and that's what's kind of led to this 2-5 record, all right? That's what the 2-5 doesn't reveal.
Okay.
0-3 versus teams that score at least 30 points. So we go down a little bit lower, and we look at, right here. In his rookie season in 2016, Dak lost to the Green Bay Packers, a 34-31. Aaron Rodgers marched down the field with 42 seconds left, popped in a field goal. Close game. I don't think anyone was hating on Dak for that one, but it's part of the loss category. 2018, there's a 30-22 loss to the Rams.
And that was not as close as that 30-22 loss. They got their asses handed to them.
Same thing as Green Bay.
It was not like the Rams ran all over them with a backup running back, and the Cowboys just looked awful.
Well, that's what they say.
Right,
yeah.
So 30 points scored, 273 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground, with C.J. Anderson coming off his couch to gain 100.
They basically just signed him. They had no running backs. They just signed him that week or some shit, and the guy was just a fucking bowling ball. It was very hard to watch.
And then we go to this past January. The defense gave up 41 of 48 points, and Jordan Love, in his first NFL appearance, put up 157.2 QB rating.
So that's again. So they say obviously the 41 of 48 points. Dak had that touchdown or that pick six, but when the game was still close, Dak did have an interception in the red zone, right? So like
that's why they took away.
No, because he threw a pick six, so they took that away. But he also threw an interception.
Okay.
In the Cowboys,
take 14 away.
You could take 14 away. So I mean,
still over 30.
Still over 30. So, but
I hear what you're saying.
Fair enough. In those games, the Cowboys' offense sucked. Like, I get it, your defense gave up points, but if your offense is still going 3 and out, interception, 3 and out, 2 plays, punt, you know what I mean? Like, yes, I get that the points are a lot, but that's because the offense wasn't going tit for tat. In the postseason, it's got to be like, okay, Green Bay scores. Now the Cowboys have to score. It's got to be 7-7, 14-7, 14-14, which in these games, that hasn't happened. So the defense, I mean, barring the Green Bay game where the defense sucked, a lot of those other postseason losses, the Green Bay one, Dak Prescott played like absolute dog shit in the first half in his rookie year. The Rams game, the whole team sucked, right, for the 30 points. And then what was this other one? This other Green Bay game, the whole team sucked.
Yeah. It was his rookie season.
But I was just kind of glancing over what they're reading, and they're trying to they're kind of tongue in cheek and saying, "Oh yeah, that damn Dak, he's." Like saying it's not his fault that the other teams put up 30 points and the defense led a lot.
Yeah.
But in a lot of those situations, it was.
Okay,
well, that's the article, I think, is more so pointing out that...
Well, I'm tweeting at these guys.
Yeah, well, you should tweet at them. Send a picture of your nuts. But what the article is getting at, and this is not like brain science, of course, but it's just getting at there's more to those games.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not making an argument. I just thought this was a really interesting...
Oh, it's good. It is good. It is good.
Hey, before you guys start scrapping each other because Ants wants to Twitterverse these guys, we have a $20 super chat from Bot G.
Oh,
Eric.
shit, yeah.
It says, Barry, you will compete in a new reality show. You win $1 million if you win these 3 events: beer pong, tag team wrestling, and a Mario Kart race. You can only choose your teammates from the CanFan podcast. Who do you got and why?
Oh,
for each event?
Nice. No, you could or
each event he gets one of us.
Technically,
one event.
Technically he didn't say that, but yeah, we can.
Okay, so what are we gonna? Do I have to choose one event and then choose a partner? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So that way, all 3 of us are
involved.
involved.
Listen, because I'm a huge wrestling fan, it will have to be a tag team match.
Yep, that's what it says. Tag team wrestling.
And I have to see the. I gotta go weigh my pros and cons here with every one of the hosts here. All right, so Ant is a psychopath, right? Like, he's one of those guys that if he ends up getting hit too much in the wrestling fight, he's gonna go ahead and get the chairs. He's gonna get the hardcore stuff. He's gonna go ahead and go all out, right? So I'll have backup there, right? AJ is more of my Jeff Hardy. Right? He's more of my Jeff Hardy. So he can be able to be the high flyer, dive off the rope, get the girls going. You know what I'm saying? So there's an element to that, right? I like that too. And then we have Adam, who's pretty much like the old school tag team, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Like I like the simpatico that we would have in the ring. Yep. You know what I mean? So there's different elements here, right?
Can only pick
if I
one,
gotta
though.
choose one, I'm going AJ. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want swanton bomb off the top rope, off the ladder. Take the shirt. That's what I need. I need that. The wrestling at the end of the day is entertaining, right? So we need that. I'm going with the wild card. Give me AJ.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Hey, well, it looks like the Bessie boys are fighting you guys for that belt.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Barry, it's a good choice because I'll take the bumps. I'm taking the bumps in the match. I'm going through the table, light it on fire, and you're the one that's going to get the victory. But you know,
I'll take the pin. That's all right. You go ahead and get all the bumps.
Okay, so AJ for tag team wrestling. Who do you got for beer pong, and who do you got for Mario Kart race?
Beer pong. I'm going Ant all day.
Yeah,
beer pong. I'm going
Ant. That's a perfect choice.
Ant all day.
Perfect choice.
And obviously for the Mario Kart, I'm going to take my man Adam because I think that you're very controlled. You're going to be able to get me where I need to go.
And he has kids.
And you're the mastermind. So you'll be able to map out a strategy so we can be able to win this race.
Yeah, we don't call him Rainbow Road for nothing.
They don't call me Rainbow Road for nothing.
Hey, congrats on getting the worst one, Ad.
I know. I got the consolation prize. Yeah,
How was Mario Kart the worst one? I love Mario Kart.
If I had to be in a tag team fight, a beer pong tournament, or a Mario Kart tournament, Mario Kart tournament's the last one I'm picking.
Yeah. I'm gonna afterwards.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send.
bad at
I'm
Mario
gonna
Kart.
send Barry Grant Jr. all of my highlights from Backyard Wrestling, and then he'll be regretting picking Alex as because Alex was. Alex is. Exactly
I did exactly what I said I did.
But what Barry thinks of you being the high flyer, I'm gonna show Barry who the high flyer of Backyard Extreme Wrestling.
Hey
was.
man, he can't change his pick.
Was Adam the high flyer?
Ad was the high flyer.
Am I missing this?
Ad was a bit of a high flyer. He has some good videos
No,
that he'll
but
say after.
AJ was literally.
Oh, you guys were both. Either of you guys would have been a great pick for tag team.
Yeah, you didn't lose on that one. You didn't lose.
I think it was a tie for.
I think the match is Barry Grant Jr. versus me and Adam in a what is it called?
A tornado. No, it's not a tornado tag match.
Like a 2-on-1,
like a handicap match.
Yeah, handicap match.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's the match.
That is.
Anyways,
great question.
Barry, either way, I'm playing the same role with you or Adam, okay? Same role.
Yeah, exactly. Alex would have a good match. If you were one-on-one with him, he would put you over, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's about for me.
But that's why I was more of a BAW champion for some reason.
Hey, as long as at the end, after the pin's done, and that stupid ass fucking Philly guy comes running into the ring, we go back to back.
Philly sports fan?
We go back to back after, and we battle them off, and then we give kind of like, a hand in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, the bro pound. Yeah.
Bro pound at the end, yeah.
Since Bot G gave a $20 super chat while you're grabbing me a drink, he just has one. Give me your Mario Kart character.
Yeah, toss me one.
And this is going to be a quick question for everyone. Barry, you have to pick a Mario Kart character. Who are you picking?
Oh, my Mario character was always Wario.
Okay, Wario. Yeah, obviously the villain. Anth, who's your
fucking Bowser or Donkey Kong all day? I'll go Bowser.
Okay, AJ.
Toad.
I do like DK. I do like DK. I like it slow. I like DK slow and steady.
Yeah, you can bully. You can bully a little bit.
But I am a Luigi or a Yoshi guy.
Princess Peach.
Princess is good. Princess is good. She's fast.
Yeah, I depending on which Mario Kart you're playing, but if we're going the OG one, I'm what's his name? I actually would use Yoshi.
Yoshi's good.
Yoshi's
a good pick.
Yeah, I like Yoshi.
Hey, they're all good choices. I don't think there's a wrong choice.
Yo, shit, you're Yoshi.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so AJ has the list of the available free agents that are still out there, and it kind of scales down from their previous.
I can look by position too, if we wanted to.
Yeah, maybe do. Yeah, whatever. This is fine for
Can
what
you
we're
boost
just
it over
doing.
for the guys? There?
I can't.
Sorry.
So we pretty much have.
If you just maybe make the screen a bit smaller.
Can't. I have to do this.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
So Ryan Tannehill's at the top there, but obviously the Cowboys aren't looking at for a quarterback. Then you got a left tackle who they don't need. I'm just looking at the guys here, and fuck, who sticks out to you? Maybe J.C. Jackson.
David Baccarati, left tackle. Put him in as QB.
Put him in at QB. There was Justin Simmons had his camp this year, and he was wearing a Dallas. So someone had posted him wearing that True Brand Dallas hat, the upside down Dallas hat. People kind of started saying, "Oh, maybe there's a chance that he's going to come play for Dallas." But he was in Denver last year, and so was Ben DiNucci. So I don't think there's much to do with that. None of these names, Barry, are they still kicking out at you? Any of these guys?
Hunter Renfrew for like a slot style receiver or like a third string receiver because we don't really have one. But I mean we have a pretty stacked.
Did you see Hunter
Renfrew right there, up right
okay,
there, yeah, right there.
I mean, like
that's a lot of money.
A guy like Hunter Renfrow is good, but it's like if you're gonna get a guy like that and have to pay, over the vet min for him. I'd rather see what we have on the roster to see who we can be able to kind of like develop, right? Rather than bringing a guy that's off injured that does have some talent, but I mean, it may be one of those situations where it's just a wash.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's the problem is the Cowboys do not have a lot of salary cap. I think it's something close to 13 million right now.
These dudes are all just waiting for injuries.
Yeah.
You even look at this is the thing. Look at all the average age. Humphreys, 30. Jackson, 28. Ogba, 30. Renfro, 28. Simmons, 30. Lawson, 29. Like,
it's a risky contract.
They're all older. They're all. This is all either their third or fourth contracts. These guys are all going to be fillers in once bodies start dropping.
30 is not that old.
Well, it's not old right now for us four on the show right now, but in the NFL world, 30's a grandpa.
They're dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's a grandpa.
For me, I believe we're not making any more changes to the roster. This is the team going into the season. Obviously, if something happens, then injury-wise or perhaps a trade, but in terms of free agencies, they're not going after anyone else in free agent. Or if it is, it's going to be someone very minor who you're like, oh shit, he's still playing?
Yeah. He's going to be 30
years
old.
old.
36. Yeah, here we go.
Speaking of real quick, Gurley is, I think, only 30 years old or turning 30
which
years
is
old.
crazy
I saw a
to
little
think.
clip on him.
Which is
it's
crazy to think
shit.
that, I think like I saw something like
It
that.
feels like he's 20 years ago, doesn't it?
I know, and he was good until his
30
knee
years
injury, man.
old with Hulk Hogan knees.
Yeah, I know, and it's a shame because he had a couple really damn good seasons. Crack him if you got him, son.
Got him.
Yeah, and okay, well,
thanks for pulling that up, AJ.
Yeah, let's put that aside. I think I think we got through the Dak Prescott talk, gents. I mean,
yeah,
it's really, I think we all are on the same page where we want to wake up and either see the article saying Dak Prescott signed for X amount just so we can put it to bed, or B, Dak Prescott's going to test himself in next year, whatever the headline might be. But this limbo shit, and then you add on Lamb as well, or vice versa. Maybe it's Lamb and then you add on Prescott, however you personally feel. It's such a, even though there's nothing happening right now, it's such a tense moment in time for Cowboys Nation where we're like, can someone fucking give us something?
Yeah, just throw some freaking
Tell us if negotiations are going good or bad. Just give me that.
Well, the thing with Dak though, Dak could be a dickhead and he could just be like, I'm not coming to camp. Pay me. I want a new contract. I'm not finishing my contract. Pay me right now or I'm not playing for the Dallas Cowboys.
He's going,
I think that we're not seeing that is because I think there was probably a couple of months ago where I think both sides mutually agreed that, listen, I think we're going to see how this plays out. There's no animosity on either side. We're just going to see, hey, and then at some point they said, okay, well, we if one party or both parties are open to getting a deal done, then I think that's where we're at now, right? So they had this agreement where they were just like, all right, we'll see how the season plays out, and then it kind of, maybe cooler heads prevail. They're more in a talking situation now where people can be able to negotiate without, some
holding
emotion
out
in it, and right, it's a part of business. But I think that's where we are now, and it's just one of those things where, as a fan, for me personally, I always say I don't hate Dak Prescott. I hate what he stands for in regards to people saying, how can you can't move on from Dak Prescott? Yeah, you can. You can be able to move on from virtually any quarterback that's not outside of the top 3. Everybody has pretty much question marks about them if you can really deep dive and look at their concerns. Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a great quarterback. He has injury concerns. Would anybody say any? I'm sure that Cincinnati would get a shit ton of heat if they decided that they wanted to move on from a guy like Joe Burrow, but they have reason to move on from a Joe Burrow if they're not producing as a team and he's often injured. What do you do as a franchise? You want them, you want to continue to be held hostage? No. So that there has to be a certain point where you look at yourself and says, what is our ceiling? How high can we go? How far can we go with this guy? As good as he is, sometimes there's another person that can be able to get you a little further, right? So that's where the Dallas Cowboys should be, is that they should be looking at every particular avenue to be able to improve their team and their organization going forward. You can be able to be in the same situation and be 11-6 or whatever it is and be in the playoffs every year and everybody thinks that you're a marginal team. But where is the upside here? You have the goal is to win. The goal is to be competitive and get to a Super Bowl. And if you can't get there, then something has to change.
Oh my God. I just want them to be at a Super Bowl so bad. Just get to it. Just pass the divisional, man.
I know. But
like, just get past it.
Just get me to an NFC title game.
Right? Just give that, please.
I would be very happy with a Final Four appearance. I would.
Yeah. Same. Sadly, would I be heartbroken if they lost it? Yeah, but at this point, I just need
not with a good game.
I just need to be proved. Like, I just crack. Oh, let me get one of those. Crack. I just need to see them get past the divisional round.
We would be heartbroken regardless, but it would be a reasonable heartbreak if the game was good.
Yeah.
If they just were outplayed and not spanked on the field.
That's another thing. Most of their losses since, and I'm just gonna go CanFan era, right?
Yep.
The losses, 2021,
AC after CanFan,
ACF after CanFan. This is the losses that we've witnessed. 2021, the Dak slide, the QB slide.
Yep.
So that was a heartbreak. It was a close game. That was actually
that was a good terrible game. Madden call.
But that was a good game.
It was.
Like, that wasn't actually a close game. He didn't play terrible. He didn't have a great first half. The next year when they lost to San Fran again.
Sorry, for that game, he didn't lose the game, but he did lose the game.
Yeah, he didn't win. He didn't win it though, right? Like he didn't win it. He didn't win it. Yes, he didn't win the game. And then obviously the Tampa game when he balled out, that was really fun to watch. But then the following week he did nothing. It was very heartbreaking for us as fans
to come off that Tampa game.
Yeah, we're like, holy shit,
fucking confidence soaring.
After that Tampa game, and I remember vividly talking to Cowboys Chris prior to the San Fran game, thinking like,
this is it.
I think this is the year. This to me, there's been few times as a Cowboys fan where I'm like,
it's true.
I think this is actually the time they're going to do it. Like and actually, Barry, I think we had you on before that game.
Yeah,
you were duped. You got duped.
Yeah.
So
you fucking drank the Kool-Aid, Barry.
Drank.
We
all
do that.
Every time I get close to being on the Dak train, he disappoints me. I have to sell my ticket.
No, you're
selling my ticket off this train. I want off.
Yeah. These Canadians might be making some sense here. Let's hop on the Dak train with them.
Whenever Barry's coming around the punch bowl and he starts drinking with us, it's like, okay, shit, something's up.
It's bad. It's like,
somebody spiked this. Right?
It's just since we got good
vibes.
We got good vibes. He's just like, yeah, I'm vibing with these guys.
I won't be fooled again. No,
yeah, now it's a prove it to me now. It's got to be a prove. It's got to be like I think I'm getting to the point that I say that now in July. I'm sure come January wild card, I'm going to be full hype mode.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm
that's how you should be.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So how are we going to feel if during this season? I'm not talking about playoffs, but during the season we have a winning record, but it's a winning record with teams that are over 500. So we are beating the Cleveland Browns. We are beating the Ravens. We are beating the San Francisco 49ers. It's not like last season where everyone's like, oh, they can't. The Cowboys just can't beat anybody over 500.
If they had a 12 and what would it be now? 12-5 record.
Yeah. Again.
And they beat the Ravens and the 49ers.
You got to feel pretty good about that.
Pretty fucking
I feel like if we're beating the Ravens and the 49ers, we're going to have a better record than 12-5.
I just get one win against. It's like we're
you definitely would feel better as a fan, but the problem is that you'll have PTSD and say, okay, well, we always look like a different team in the playoffs. It's a heckling, Jekyll and Hyde type of situation. Think about Dak's numbers in the playoffs. He's 12
playoffs,
and he's 12 touchdowns and 7 picks.
Yeah,
that's not that great.
No,
you know what I mean? Like you can go ahead and sprinkle a good performance here and there, but when you look at the actual numbers, like I think he only has 2 games where his quarterback rating was like decent.
Well, and Barry,
So
out of those 12 touchdowns, I think
5 of them,
4 or 5 of them came from that Tampa game. So
that's what I'm saying, right? So that makes it even scarier when you look at the numbers, right?
My problem
is that certain guys are regular season guys, and certain guys can't produce in the playoffs. Some guys are just built for the regular season, while other guys are built for the playoffs.
I just want to be I want to be so wrong though.
Yeah,
I want him to prove everybody wrong. Like I really do.
The best thing for me is every time
that's what we want.
Every time season starts, I reset. And then everything else doesn't happen.
Oh yeah.
And then as the wins happen, this is what my vision goes to. It's like every week it goes like this.
Oh yeah.
And then I get blinders on.
Yeah, but it's easy to have blinders on when your quarterback has 36 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in the regular season.
Exactly. Everybody was talking about Dak as an MVP candidate last year.
Well, he was though.
He was exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like as a fan, how can you not get excited about that when you hearing your team being talked about in a positive light? Your quarterback is producing. You're thinking, and then think about the road that we had laid out for us. We had a home field to the NFC title game.
Ugh.
And we couldn't even get out of the first round.
Yeah, it's awful. It honestly, like in 2020 retrospect, it's like I kind of wish they would have had to be road dogs. Honestly, because and the craziest thing, not only the roadmap to it, the Cowboys were undefeated at home in 2023 in the regular season. So you're like, oh my God, they're undefeated at home.
Yeah.
They now have basically a red carpet rolled out to the NFC title, and they just fucking crashed.
I can't wait to be back on the Dak train. I'm like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers when he gets excited about wedding season. Like I just can't wait for week to week to struggle.
Out of all of us, you are the most Vince Vaughn character.
He definitely is. 100%.
Thank you.
100%.
And AJ's Owen Wilson, and then I'm Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was just trying to think of who was left on that those movies.
You got the anger like Vince Vaughn sometimes.
You're is it Bradley Cooper?
I'm definitely a Bradley Cooper
in the sub pro. Well, look, guys, we could beat Dak like a dead horse all day, and I would love to. But we got some questions to answer here that are the top 20 questions from DallasCowboys.com, and the people want us to answer them.
Yeah, so these are the top 20 questions going into training camp. We did it last year. We're doing it this year. What did we finish at?
Well,
13?
This is
I think 13
this
was
is 12. We have to do 12.
Yeah, so we're starting off at number 12. And Barry, I mean, it's just open range here with the answer. What we do is we just read the question, and then we, instead of reading the answers, we answer
and then read their answers.
And then we go through
and then we read. No, we don't just read their answers. We fucking make fun of them.
Yeah, we do. We make fun.
We make fun of their names. We call them idiots.
Neek eat me out, Eatman. He does it himself.
Neatman?
Yeah, Neekman. So question 12, have the Dallas Cowboys gotten better or worse at cornerback?
Better. They've gotten better.
Just right out of the gate. You think so? Well, you got to give me some.
Explain.
You got to give me some substance.
This ain't short answer.
Yeah, you got to give me some substance on that.
This is long answer.
I didn't know this was math class where I have to show my work for fucking participation.
Well, it's actually more like English class where you need a full sentence.
Okay, so
to answer something, not just yes.
Hey, you've created your. I don't know if this
I've created the thesis.
You've created your no. What's your thesis? Give me your. I don't know if that.
Well, my thesis is because we didn't see Diggs on the field last season. Having even without Gilmore being re-signed as of yet, Diggs comes back in, and then you got Diggs and Bland as our anchor cornerbacks. I still think that we've gotten better.
And Kalen Carson drafted in the 4th round.
Yeah,
a little bit more depth.
See what he does.
Oh, I didn't know it was your time to answer.
I'm just helping. I'm helping out.
Listen, you and me were not picked for the tag team. Okay, so
Adam got
you're right.
Adam got so mad he cleared the chat off the screen. He's like, "Don't you dare! This
Don't
is
you
my time."
Bot G, don't you dare tell Anthony he's Bradley Cooper. Okay?
We're gonna come here, and Ad's just gonna be playing beer pong and tag team matches.
Yeah. And Mario, he's got Mario Kart.
No, he doesn't even want to touch it. He's like,
No,
I
he's
already
like,
got
fuck
that.
yeah.
I already got Mario Kart. I already got Mario Kart.
I need to prove to Barry.
Yeah, but so and then Ant said we signed the boy from Wake Forest. I think we've absolutely are fine at cornerback. I think if we looked at last season, we didn't know Deron Bland was going to be the guy, and we were very, very promising with Diggs and Gilmore. So now the fact that Gilmore's out and we got this young, even if he's coming off of an injury, you know, I got that hopium when you start seeing Diggs in training and his mobility seems to be there.
And you see him in person, he's a big, like, Diggs is big.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Like, he's a big dude. When you see him around normal sized people, he's not a small human.
It's just your butthole's gonna pucker a little bit when you know that he's gonna be out there practicing and playing games for a little bit. And
Coming off an ACL though.
Yeah,
That's the biggest cue, isn't it?
Yeah, biggest cues. He's coming off an ACL.
Yeah,
how's he gonna respond?
I think he's gonna.
Is Diggs coming off an ACL better than Stephon Gilmore last year? That's what you basically.
Yes.
That's the comparison.
I think
is
so.
Diggs gonna be better than what? And I think he will be. I do think he will be.
Okay, so is that your answer?
Well, I'll
Yes or no?
piggyback a little bit. I'm just going to throw one tidbit that Trevon Diggs tweeted out or X'd out, whatever the hell you want to call it. I know we say that every time we bring up a tweet. Trevon Diggs.
Sorry, I've been looking up Trevon Diggs XXX, and I don't know if I'm finding the same stuff you guys are, but
it's interesting. but it's a good watch.
He's athletic. I'll tell you this.
He's athletic. He's really spreading that field. You know.
So Trayvon tweeted that in the last 2 seasons, him and his boy Deron Bland, 30 interceptions. Do what you want to do with that.
Whoa, that's
chaotic.
wild.
That's insane.
And you still have Al Harris as the cornerback,
Which
coach.
might have been the biggest keep of the year as far as coaches.
Because you know he wanted
I thought
to go
he was
with
going
fucking Dan.
DQ.
You know he wanted to go with Dan
But
Quinn.
my answer, yes. The Cowboys, Trevon Diggs is out there, and you have Deron Bland, the reigning NFL record holder for interception touchdowns. They're both on the field, and they're both going to be starting for the first time ever. We'll never see that. We've never seen that before. So I'm excited, and I do think they will be better than last year.
My only
challenge it. Fucking challenge it, AJ.
No, my only question mark, of course, is you got Diggs coming off that ACL. So is he going to be like historically? We never see guys, except for AP. I think there might be one more. We never see guys bounce back to who they were. Now, the benefit of the doubt is Diggs is still very young, so you know he's got all that tea rushing through his body. I'd love to get a little piss test from him, see how hot he's going.
Juicing.
But yeah, this is a deadly combination, and you're right. The question comes down to is Deron Bland better than Stephon Gilmore?
I think it's Trey. I think it's Trevon.
You mean
because Bland was out there last year, right? So
no, but let's assume Diggs is coming. That's what I didn't finish, I guess.
Sorry,
but no,
it's just out there.
You're correct. I wasn't very clear. If Diggs is coming back to who we know he is, instead of having that, you know, B season instead of his typical A season, then the question is, well, is Bland going to outperform Gilmore? Because we already know Diggs is going to have his lockdown on the one side of the field. Have they gotten better or worse? I mean, you'd have to say yes just for the statistical thing, but also Diggs, was that just luck of the draw first type of season and maybe he fades away? We've seen that happen too many times in the NFL, but I have to go with yes.
BGJ.
Yeah, I think this is the definition of addition by subtraction, right? I mean, you go ahead and get Bland back. Diggs back, excuse me. That's the addition. Subtraction is Gilmore not being there, but I'd rather get the young guys and see what they can be able to do and have possibly 2 bookend cornerbacks that's going to be able to, you know, really make your defense better, your front line better, your middle, you know, your linebacker core better. Everything is going to be able to go from those 2 standpoints. So yeah, I think they are better because these guys are healthy. So I would say yes.
If Gilmore was to be re-signed, let's say that he does, and it's an amount that the Cowboys can handle, we're not in cap hell. Where does Gilmore fit in with these 2 boys? With
Well, that's a tricky one
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I think
that's tricky.
you can be able to probably have Gilmore be a floater. You know, you can probably play him at safety as well too, to try to see how he plays there and kind of just move guys around. You know, you can be able to put him on bigger tight ends possibly. You know, maybe have him in the, you know, I probably wouldn't put him in a nickel, but you know, you'll be a little bit more switchy depending on the team, and that's a good place to be, to have, you know, versatility at your cornerback position.
Well, that's the tricky thing. Like, 'cause a lot of people will say put Deron Bland back at nickel, but Deron Bland's proven that he needs to be out at CB. So it's tricky, right? Like, if you did bring back Gilmore, you're not putting him in the nickel, right? And this is maybe why the Cowboys haven't brought Gilmore back, because
Beautiful depth.
They don't beautiful depth, but Gilmore's also not coming to play.
No,
he's coming. He wants to start, right?
Well,
so he's not coming to play behind Deron or Trayvon. So it's like, it's kind of, maybe that's why we haven't seen the Cowboys sign him, or maybe that's why he hasn't signed with the Cowboys.
Sometimes when you're looking at personnel as from a coaching perspective, you're looking.
God, here we go. Here we fucking go.
Oh, hey Barry, did you know that Ad's coaching football this year? So whenever he, so the joke is, if there's anything Ad's saying from a coaching perspective, he means himself.
So
hold on. Are we keeping score in regards to can you guys post his coaching record?
Oh yeah, I'll be at every single game.
That needs to be a segment where those things are broken down and analyzed in regards to how well the team plays under his tutelage.
Oh, don't you worry, I'll be on the field, or I'll be at the field getting footage. 100%.
We're also going to be reporting offensive score, because Adam's he's on offense. So
yeah, I'm not a head coach. I'm a wide receivers and running back coach.
You're a core. Okay, you're a okay. All right, that's all right. That's all right.
You know,
so if the wide receivers don't play well, that falls on the coach.
Totally, 100%.
But hey, if the running backs go off, then
I need at least one of the two.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I was gonna say, from a coaching's perspective, when you're looking at personnel and how if you're seeing where you're lacking strength, and said Deron Bland needs to be in the CB. Well, if we're weaker in another area and you have a player who has the athleticism to be able to shift and still contribute better than the person that's subjected to that position, then you got to put them in there for the betterment of the team. So Deron Bland might possibly not have the type of season that he would have if he was a cornerback, if he was slotted into a different position, but it's going to actually overall help the team or help that positional rating.
But you take him off the field, though. That's the issue, because you're not playing nickel all the time, right? So Deron Bland has proven that he needs to be on the field all the time.
I'm in the record of Diggs and Bland should be there all day long.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm just saying, from a coach's perspective, that's how we're trying to dish it out. Okay.
Whose perspective?
From a coach's perspective, that's just how we go through it.
You stick to worrying about running backs and wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, now I get it. I'm not talking about my same type of personnel when we're talking about Diggs and like Zeke or someone like that. Like, great, you guys can listen to me, but DBs, hey, we'll defer to somebody else, I guess.
Well, from one position to the other, but now we're solo focusing on our only left tackle on the
we weren't
team.
Going to look at
so we're not even saying what they say, huh?
Well, I mean, I thought we covered everything.
I know. I just want to see if they say yes. About the same.
So Nick Al Harris's brother says
about the same.
About the same.
Fuck you, Yeoman says it's hard to get better at a position group after losing a former defensive player of the year.
Shut up. So you say no. Down to Patrick No C Walker. The big three at CB is nasty work right now, and that means the only question is the same as last year. And he kind of he's saying for me yes. It's not worse, but it's instead arguably better.
Yeah.
Okay. Patrick Walker saying arguably better.
He says, like us, he'd still re-sign Gilmore though, but it has to just be. I don't think anyone's saying don't re-sign him, but it's just got to make sense. And then Kurt Daniels.
What's he got going on? Kurt Daniel, given what we've seen with the previous ACL injuries and the recovery time needed for players, like, I just think it's unrealistic to think Diggs will have a Pro Bowl self anytime soon. So he's going no.
Okay.
But I fear it has gotten worse.
Okay.
Daniel says. So it's a little, I'd say they went 2 for 2.
Okay, well, guess what?
You know what?
Can't wait to prove those assholes wrong.
Fair points. I think it really all comes, the answer to the question comes down to, how does Diggs look week 1?
Yeah.
Week 2. You know?
Exactly. But they're also banking like Terrence Steele. It's going to be a lot harder for a guy that's 330 pounds to bounce back from an ACL than a guy that's 205 pounds. The Michael Gallup was a better comparison for the ACL than Terrence Steele, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's hope. I still think Trevon Diggs coming off an ACL is going to be just as good, if not better, than the 32-year-old Stephon Gilmore that we saw last year, which was still really good. So
Look, 32 is still good.
Okay, next question. Question number 11 from DallasCowboys.com says, when does Tyler Guyton take over starting left tackle? Question mark. Barry Grant Jr. We're gonna. Oh, okay, Alex Johnson. We're gonna go for you.
No, I have a quick answer. I thought he did. I thought he already did.
no, they still kind of have Chuma in the spot. Like the depth chart still says Chuma.
Right, but you draft a guy first overall. They didn't do this. Like, I am sick and tired of a number 1 pick being, oh well, he's a next year pick.
Yes.
Well, then fucking draft him second round at least.
Or draft guys that are going to play this year.
Yeah. Especially with how the Cowboys are. But I'm sorry, you were throwing a
No, I was
BGJ.
you were frustrated there. I wanted to make
I am
sure that
frustrated.
you got your stuff. My answer is same as you. So now we've had 2 people answer. I thought he was starting, and I think we're going to see him as the official starter after training camp or after preseason, after the first a week or 2 of preseason, where he'll be slotted into starting. Barry Grant Jr., now that you're getting your sloppy thirds, go for it.
I'll take it. I think that it's one of those. I want to say week 4.
Okay.
Week 4, because sometimes you want to keep things the same if there's not a glaring problem. You know, there's some continuity that they have on the line, so maybe keeping Truman there, but we'll see how that goes, right? But I say that if he's talented enough, if he's showing out in camp, if he's this road grader that they said he is, then you can give him, you know, obviously a 4th of the season, you know, until week 5, week 4, whatever, and then get in there and start the roll. So I don't necessarily believe that that's a bad thing that he sits a couple of games until he's really, really ready. And so I say week 4.
So you think we're going to have because Guyton would be going up against Myles Garrett in week 1, so it's Chuma that's going to be going up against Myles.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'd rather see what the kid, you know, give him a couple of weeks to really see if he can be able to get up to speed and stuff like that. But you know, he could impress right away, and then they decide to pull the trigger. So we'll see. But I say week 4.
Are you saying we don't see him on the field till week 4, or that he's just not in that starting position?
That he's not an actual starter until week 4. Like you may see him on the field. You know, they'll probably put him in certain situations, but like an actual starter and then not relinquish the job week 4.
Well, he's also, this is how many months in has he been as a
3
left tackle now?
3,
right?
maybe.
Yeah.
My answer is
That's reasonable.
if he's not starting week 1, I don't know what day he's going to start or what if he's going to pass Chuma, but I'm going to be choked. You traded back out of the first round when there was starters, day 1 starters that you could get.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to draft a guy to start at center with their first.
That was so we could get fucking Cooper Bebe.
Which is good. I loved what they did, but I still think your first round pick needs to be a week 1 starter. So if he's not a week 1 starter, I'm just going to be mad. Like, and maybe he's not. Maybe it's not the right play to put him out. If he's not out there playing, the Cowboys are very good at evaluating their linemen. So if he's not out there week 1.
Offensive lineman.
Yeah, offensive lineman. If he's not out there week 1, it's the right decision, but I'll still be mad. You shouldn't have drafted him then.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. We will all be mad, but if he's not out there, it's for a reason.
For sure. You don't want to force a guy to start if he's not ready.
Nick, I'm not Al Harris's brother says, I think, sorry, go ahead. You can read it. I just wanted to say that joke.
Okay. No, he agrees with you, Anth. He says, if Guyton doesn't take over in week 1 in Cleveland, it would be tough to stomach.
Yeah, well, because it's your first overall pick.
Fucking Odoga or Matt Wingspan, well, let's go against Myles Garrett. That is not what I'm looking for.
Chuma has experience. It's just,
Chuma's been on the team.
Yeah.
And he hasn't. The problem with Chuma is we have noticed him when he's on the field. And I think that's not a good thing for offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Well, but here's the other thing that we talked about when this happened. Like, if like Tyler, like we were like, oh yeah, he's going against Myles Garrett. Well, you're in practices and training camp. You're going up against Micah Parsons. You're going up against D-Law. So you are going up against a formidable
Sam
defense.
Williams,
Sam
Marshawn
Williams.
Leland.
So you're not going up against schlubs. So if Tyler Guyton could handle his own against the likes of them, then I think it's.
And what if he can't?
Well, then if he can, then we're fucking looking at wingspan. Well, let's go or Chuma. Give me some fucking food, Adoga.
Mickey Spaghetti Spagnola says they won't just hand the starting job to Guyton. He must earn it. And some will depend on how Chuma Agoda is performing on a daily basis during camp
true.
once the pads come on. So that's the right answer. And they got to see what these guys do in camp. It's going to tell. You're going to be able to see.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to see. And that's something that we're going to be watching for. We're going to be watching Chuma in one-on-ones, and we're going to be watching Guyton in one-on-ones when we're down there at training camp, because it is obvious when you can tell who's getting beat and who's not. So it's going to come down to training camp.
And Mickey Bolognese Spaghetti's got it right in that it is going to come down in camp, but it still doesn't. We're talking week 1, and if Chuma beats out Guyton, it's going to feel like a miss. Even if, and I agree with Barry, I can forget the first 4 weeks if Guyton comes in and then fucking is like a fence post on that left-hand side of the football. Okay, then I can forget about those first 4 weeks, but it's not going to make those first 4 weeks any more easy to get through, where I'm trying to find some excuse, someone to get angry at, and it's going to be, this will be one of the things on my checklist.
I actually like Nick Eat Me Out.
He has the best. He actually has the best point.
Yeah,
first day of training camp.
Hey, Neatman, you got us. You got us back.
Read it, Ad. Just give us.
First day of training camp.
Just give us the first 2 sentences.
First day of training camp. Seriously, that's when you should take over. Read it or not. That's it.
Ready.
Seriously, that's when you should take over. Ready or not.
Oh, sorry.
You say ready or not?
Sorry. Sorry, I only see read.
Ready or not?
Yeah, but on mine, look on mine.
Oh.
So fuck you, dickhead. You know I'm fucking Ron Burgundy here. I can only read
That
what's
is
in
true.
front of me.
Hey, and you proved it. You fucking proved it.
Like,
there we go.
treat me as a fucking professional here, okay?
I didn't see that. I'm
reading
reading off the actual teleprompter.
Fuck you, San Diego.
Fuck you, San Diego.
Oh, and then we got a Yeoman say,
fuck Yeomans.
Some may think he's already taken the starting job. Others believe it won't happen. I'm somewhere in between. Don't give me this fucking gray area.
Well, that's
Kyle Yeomans.
That's kind of what Barry's stance a little bit. Some people think he should. Some people don't even think he will. Believe it won't happen for him as a rookie. That is not an acceptable answer.
No, gosh darn way.
Anyone that doesn't think that he's going to be a starting left tackle as a rookie, then why would you draft him in the first fucking round? I'm okay even if he's not starting week 1, but he ends up starting week 4. I can stomach that. For him to not start a full season,
if he plays 60%, if he plays
unacceptable.
Look. If he doesn't start, but he still plays 60% of the snaps at that position, that's still a good amount of snaps.
Oh, sure. If he's in the game.
Actually,
yeah.
But when do you do that? When do you not start at left tackle and then still play 60% of the snaps?
When you realize Chuma Adoga is not that guy.
But then that means he'll end up starting at some point in his rookie season. If Chuma Adoga is not the guy, you're not going to play him 40% of the time in the game.
I meant in the first 4 weeks.
Oh, okay, yeah. First 4 weeks. I can stomach the first 4 weeks. The whole season, him not starting,
Yeah, I agree.
that can't happen.
Well, the big part about that, I think, is we can't go back-to-back seasons with a number 1 pick not affecting the football game.
I just can't. Yeah.
It might be a little more easy to stomach if Mozzie Smith had come into his own last year, and then we're like, okay, well, we can check that guy off the roster because he's fucking. We saw what he can do. He's a question mark as well. He's a number 1 pick from 2023.
And he's a question mark going into 2024, which is
question mark.
insane.
Yeah, and I'm just saying I don't want to repeat that.
No. Don't draft them then. Don't draft them in the first round. Draft starters.
Before we go to that next question, Blue Fire says, "What's up, boys? Sorry I haven't been around. Just been hella busy. That's all good. Hopefully we see you at training camp. I know you were.
He was on the fence that he
you're
might
a
not
TBD.
be able to. He wasn't.
Blue
sure.
Virus, don't be a bitch and show up.
Well, Blue Virus drove down and then he camped out.
That's true.
for
Okay.
it. So like you can't that's
I don't mean to.
that's HC.
No, I'm trying to light a fire under the guy.
So this is going to be one that this question's going to be, we're going to be kind of reliant on the Cowboys writers because they watch practice. They have inside info. But 10, what does Zimmer's defense look like? My answer, good. I don't know. That's why we're going down to training camp.
I'll say I think his defense is going to look disciplined.
It's not what is it going to look like. It's what does it look like? Like we don't know. We haven't seen it. As us four here, we really don't have any idea.
Well, I mean, I think you just have to kind of play off history, right? In regards to Zimmer's defense, they're always nasty up front. Always nasty up front. They're a team that really doesn't want to give up the run a lot. They're very good at run stopping. So, that's what they look like in regards to just nasty up front. Hopefully we see a different Mozzie Smith if we see him at all, hopefully. So that's what I'm thinking that they look like. Nasty up front.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they look nasty up front.
One thing I'm going to keep harping on, and it's the only thing I really keep going back to, is I really want to see him, and insert Cowboys player's name here, but my belief is it's Dono Dub. I want to see him using Dono Dub more coming behind the line. Dono Dub had a really good season 2022, and I didn't prepare and look at his stats, but it was significantly better in terms of his production for sacks and TFLs in 2022, and then something changed in 2023, and it might have been the necessity of we just do not have the depth for you to be coming, like you got to play safety. And that's where I think Dono Dub can really help the Cowboys. And in a Mike Zimmer defense where he tends to like to confuse the offense and do that, I see there's a lot of opportunity to have Dono Dub go in, play a guy behind the line, play on that running back or the quarterback even, and basically be making more moves kind of in more of a defensive lineman type of position, right? Not saying that he's got the size or anything like that, but, they can cheat up safeties. So that's what I'm really interested in seeing, and I hope that that's what Zimmer brings to this team, is utilizing those safeties. We got to probably, I would argue, it really sucks curses and part of it, but I would argue that we probably have our strongest safety core right now. We've been saying this for a little bit anyway. You bring Bell back there as well from getting his stint.
I think the Bell over J-Ron is a great. Bell instead of J-Ron's a nice add.
2022,
J-Ron
was great. He really fell off last year, and I don't think was worth taking another run on. I think Bell comes in and can fill that void, but that's interesting. Like how could Zimmer use those strengths in safety if we're feeling like, okay, corners might be a little, we might not have as strong as depth. Okay, then I believe those safeties are going to be utilized.
D-Shift says Zimmer had the best defensive coverage index against the Shanahan tree and other offenses.
AJ, toss me one, son. Let's see what these dorks at DallasCowboys.com had to say. Nice toss.
Well, first of all, hang on. I just want to, we got to do this every time.
There it is. There it is.
There's our boy. Hang on. I got one more.
You guys know the nipple one? There it is. Zoom in on that.
Look at that.
You know what? For as perky as his nipples are, they're really small.
He does have they're little those are little dimes.
It's not very symmetrical.
I love the Oakleys. Who took my Oakleys?
You're like, Coach, you're wearing them.
He's like, I'm wearing these because I want
Let's see that gut.
I want Justin Jefferson to know that I own those Oakleys.
Holy shit, look at that.
That is like,
that's a good keg.
Is that Kevlar?
Oh yeah, he's wearing double flak jackets there.
Come on, man. Like you have renowned chefs at the facility. Just throw a salad in there.
Hey, don't you dare fucking talk to me there, you little pissant.
Yeah, right? I'd be like, hey, Coach, get a salad in you, kid.
Botchi says, I trust Zimmer more than Donald Trump's secret security detail. JK,
well, I don't know.
JK, too soon?
I don't know if anyone's trusting you. I don't know if... we could have another hour into that, but that's a great joke.
Botchi trying to get it out.
So
there.
Mickey Spags, Mickey Bolognese.
Mickey Bolognese.
The base defense still is at a 4-3, but a truer 4-3 with 3 actual linebackers on the field against teams lining up in. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking like a Texan in terms is Spagnolia. Anyways,
Because he probably lives in Texas.
yeah. Give us a summary there, Ant.
Well, I was listening to you. I thought you were going to give a summary, and now I haven't done it.
So it says nickel will be nickel, and Mike doesn't hesitate to man up. Assuming Trevon Diggs.
Spelling mistake.
Fucking fix your spelling check.
Trayvon.
Spagnoli.
Spelling mistake.
Travin Diggs.
Returns good as
from his ACL
from his
repair. Fuck you.
So they're just going into boring like defensive stuff that we're not going to really read through. Really.
Patrick No-C.
I just want him to really. Here's a key reason for the signing of Eric Kendricks and drafting of Maurice Lafau and the decision to require Mozzie Smith put weight back on to be a double team eater at nose tackle while also adding Justin Rogers in the draft to help the cause. So they're saying they want to get stronger in the middle.
Yeah, they do.
Barry had said that you want to get stronger in the middle. So they upped their linebacking crew and they've beefed up their center.
Well, and this is what you
they're middle of the line.
You don't want to have. Hey, we've got 2 ball hawks now in Diggs and Bland. These guys are going to, if you don't throw on target and you don't get enough separation, these guys have a chance to pick the ball off at every throw that you make to those wide receivers. Well, the answer to that is fine, then we'll run the ball. Well, what's the Cowboys' weakness? Yeah, run the ball against the Cowboys. So for sure, it's like increase the strengths, but you have to also look at your weaknesses. And I think the Cowboys have addressed that in the most minor way possible that they could this offseason to make anyone, to make that palpable. But I think it's true. It's like you could add on 2 of your best cornerbacks in the league onto one team. But if you don't have running defense, the teams are just going to be like, fine, we won't throw the ball. We'll just run it down your fucking throat.
Run it down that gosh darn throat of yours.
Let's get to question 9.
Swap the run.
Let's get to question 9.
Whoa.
Yeah, eat me out. You don't get it. Hang on.
He's gonna play. He's gonna play a good defense.
Question 9 is Jake Ferguson knocking on knocking on the All-Pro door? Yeah.
Knock, knocking on that Jake Ferguson door.
I think we talked about this last or 2 weeks ago or 2 shows ago, 1 show ago, Ant. But you were saying you think Jake Ferguson's going to be having his career year this year.
I'm going to go yes. You saw besides CeeDee Lamb, who was Dak Prescott's safety blanket, it was Jake Ferguson. He got better in year 2, and I expect him to get better in year 3. I was surprised he wasn't a Pro Bowl player last year. I think he'll be a Pro Bowl player and an All-Pro. Will it be a first-team All-Pro or second-team? I don't know. But he's definitely on the trajectory to be an All-Pro player.
I think he's walking through that fucking All-Pro door.
Is All-Pro the one that
actually matters?
The one that
matters. It's voted on by the Associated Press.
Crack him if you got him.
Crack me if you got him. Where like Pro Bowl's Pro Bowl's more of just a popularity contest. If you've been good for 5 years,
it matters, but it is outweighed by all.
And tight end's actually probably a tough one to crack in because you have the Kittle, like a George Kittle. You have who else in the NFC?
Kelsey.
Well, I'm thinking NFC only.
Know.
For All Pro, it'll be tough because you're right. Crack me if you got him. You got the Kelseys of the world. You got the Kittles of the world. So it's a bit tougher, but he has all the tools and he has the offense to be set up.
And he has that dog in him.
He's got that dog in him.
He has a dog in him. He was definitely one of my favorite players to watch last season. I've been on the Jake Ferguson train even since last offseason, and I think I'm going to do a Jake Ferguson jersey.
Nice.
My thoughts on Jake Ferguson is, he's trajecting in the right way. He's battled through a really fucking deep. When he came on, there was he wasn't the standout tight end. In fact, I think the Cowboys, but let's consider even last year, they drafted in the 2nd round Schoonmaker, who I don't know if he was putting pressure exactly on Ferguson, but it's a tight end's a tight end. It's taking up a spot on the depth chart, right? So I think Ferguson's really shown up. I love his feistiness, and he just needs to take it to the next level, which I know is like at some point you're going to hit that ceiling. But until that happens, I'm always going to be asking him to take it to the next level.
Last All-Pro for the Cowboy at tight end, Jason Witten.
Ferguson has a chance to go 8,808 for his 80 catches, 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Which I don't know if that'll be enough to be All-Pro.
No, but that's a extremely successful season
Yeah, if he hits which would be amazing, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, and like 90 catches, then he's definitely all-pro.
What was the stat line for the other tight ends that made all-pro last year?
Travis Kelce, and who else would be? I don't even know who the all-pros were last year. That's actually a good question.
Thank you.
So all-pros last year, obviously Travis Kelce. Barry, who are some other really good tight ends? I know Eric Andrews is that his name? Eric Andrews from Baltimore? Is that his first name?
I mean, you have
Mark Andrews?
Mark
TJ
Andrews.
Hawkinson.
Yeah, Hawkinson.
Sam Laporta.
Laporta had a good season last year.
Sam
Definitely.
Laporta was really good.
And he was fucking available when we could have picked him.
You have Njoku.
Hawkinson Njoku had a good year.
Njoku. Evan Ingram even had
Evan Ingram, right?
Taysom Hill, if you can count him. I don't count him. Kmet, and then Ferguson. So Ferguson's the number 8 true tight end if you take out Taysom Hill.
So his touchdowns are kind of right there, but I mean, Sam Laporta had double the amount of touchdowns as almost all other tight ends out there. And the sad thing with George Kittle is 3 of his touchdowns were against the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that's true. Anth going for 1,200 yards. That's insane.
Now that you look at this, you're right. You're right. That'd be insane.
But it
would get him the All-Pro.
It would get him the All-Pro. You're not wrong.
Last year's 2 All-Pro players were George Kittle and Sam Laporta. Those were your
okay.
So you're number 1, number 2.
Number 1 and number 2.
Yeah. Well, so George Kittle was team 1, and then Laporta was team 2.
Which is odd. And they're looking at touchdowns.
So really, I mean,
let me go back to my 8,808.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But I'm going back to my answer. Next year, All-Pro. I guess there's 2 tight ends in the league that make All-Pro.
Yeah.
So it's tough. That's tough. You need to be the top.
Well, he's got to beat Kittle.
95%. Yeah, he's got to.
Actually, he's got to beat Kittle and Laporta.
Anyone, because it's not. It doesn't do it NFC, AFC. It's just you just gotta be the best player at that position. 1,200 yards, Kittle, or 1,200 yards, Jake Ferguson. Fucking get me my AP.
Okay, I'm gonna bring
one.
I'll bring that back up actually because I want to. But before we move on to our final question here, I want to know what are your? I've already said my line. Ants said his,
which I'd change.
Which if you want to change, you can.
I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it
4 times before he finishes the sentence.
No, I'm staying 1,200 yards to get that AP one.
That's true. Adam and BGJ.
These fucking stat lines are pathetic. These yardage.
I'm going, because you got to think about what we have, right? So we're pretty much CeeDee Lamb dominant. Hopefully Brandon Cooks can be able to have a season the second half of his the season was good, so we can expect him to be better year 2 in an offense, right?
Yep.
Hopefully that he's healthy. So Dak loves him, like everybody has said. I see 75 catches, 930 yards, anywhere between 6 and 9 touchdowns.
That's good.
That'd be amazing. I would love that. That's a more realistic line than mine.
I'm kind of right on the nose with Barry Grant Jr. He went before me, but I was kind of going down that trajectory. I think I would say maybe 85 receptions, but I think his targets are going to have to go up, and I think they will go up this season. If we look at it, he only had 102 targets. But if we look at Sam
Where do those targets come from?
What do you mean?
Well, will they come from CeeDee Lamb, or are they going to come from the other wide receivers?
The other wide receivers, because I think I think Jake Ferguson, because I said it on a previous podcast, I think Jake Ferguson is like our second or even third wideout. So I think they're just going to give him more targets because it's going to be evenly spread out between CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and then obviously Jake Ferguson as our third. So I think he's going to get 20 more because I think he's going to need to get 80 to 85 receptions. And then his yardage, if he's anywhere between 800 to 900 yards with 7 to 8 touchdowns, I think he has a good opportunity at making All-Pro.
So just for Travis Kelce's kind of been the gold
standard,
like the gold standard for tight ends. 2022, 110 receptions, 1,338 yards, 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's Sam Laporta. Like that's better than Sam Laporta this last
2021, year. 92 receptions, 1,125 yards, 9 touchdowns. 2020, 105 receptions, 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. So it is the 1,200. I feel more comfortable with my 1,200 now that I looked at this because I think
if he's getting the throw.
well, I think last year was maybe a down season.
I was just
for
gonna say this looks like
tight
a this looks like a
tight end
bad
receiving
this looks like a
yards.
bad
Well,
tight end receiving yard.
only one tight end had over 1,000 yards, which was George Kittle.
But look at even the touchdowns. They're like outside of Sam Laporta, everyone's in the 4, 5, 6 range. There's not a lot of other.
Outside of Laporta, it was 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel pretty good at our boy could have a run at it. I do. Jake Fergie.
What other? I mean, is there anyone on the list there that like not a lot of these guys are splitting a lot of tutties with other top tight ends?
Well, what do you mean?
Like you don't. So like let's say for instance,
top wide
like let's say George Kittle, he has 6 touchdowns. You don't see another tight end on San Francisco who has like 5.
but you have Christian McCaffrey.
No,
there's also a lot
totally
of
understand
other
it.
good players.
But I'm saying like that's the other thing with tight end is like you don't necessarily.
I
see
know
like
what
a
you mean.
dual-
Like there's
a dual
not
threat.
another tight end getting major snaps like
Yeah.
that in regards to like red zone opportunities or
Right.
anything like that.
They're
Yeah.
basically the tight end. Most of these guys, well, especially Kelsey, last year it looks like he was just more of a decoy. It looks like he was a decoy. Essentially.
Not really. He had a lot of bad games with drop passes. Like he didn't.
He had 93 receptions.
Look,
but I'm saying in terms of touchdowns.
Honestly, what you got to do with Ferguson is you got to give him one more pass per game.
Yeah.
And he has to get 3 more touchdowns.
George Kittle's 1,000 yards on 65 receptions.
But this
I know.
Oh, that's
so.
crazy.
But this is the other thing.
But he had huge catches.
But this is the other thing with George Kittle. Like that touchdown, the 3 touchdowns. So without the 3 touchdowns from the Dallas Cowboys, his touchdown percentage wouldn't have been there, or his touchdown rating would have. Like he has 6 total touchdowns. So
but he's still at it. You got it. This is the thing with for tight ends.
yeah, tight ends. They're blocking. They're running decoy routes.
Their biggest thing over touchdowns is yards per reception. Look at his yard per reception versus everybody else.
Yeah, they're huge.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he moves the ball down the field.
He had a 15 yards. Look at that.
15.
So he's head and shoulders above everybody else. He's almost getting a first down every time he catches the ball.
I mean, Jake Fergie's 10 is pretty solid though too.
No,
he's right. He's right. He's right in line with everybody else.
Ferguson's stats are right where they should be, but it's just about more volume essentially.
Well,
and
like,
then
yeah.
also better red zone. Whatever it is, why is he not getting the ball more in the red zone?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Anyways, we all said yes, he has a chance. Let's see question number what? We got one more? 8?
One more 8. Here we go. This is probably the most fun one, actually, I have to say. Have the NFC East teams closed the gap? And I guess this is relevant to Cowboys and Eagles.
Yeah, it's got to, and they only got to be talking about have the Giants. It should be have the Giants and the Commanders close the gap.
I say this: Giants, no; Washington, yes.
Yeah. So how do you really answer that if one team has?
So I would say yes, because adding another person to the competition just makes it that much more competitive. Giants, the problem with them is they got rid of their top running back, which really was the only threat when you play that team, and now
he's an Eagle.
Now he's an Eagle, so yeah. That obviously makes things a little bit more closer when we play the Eagles. Washington, they just improved.
They got a lot better
on paper, and we'll see how that translates to the game. But like we got 3 good teams. I like a division that's competitive. I think that
we play our division more than anybody else. So you kind of want to have. You don't want to go into.
Teams,
you don't want our team to walk through a division and then struggle with everybody else, which is seemingly what we've ran into last year.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I think a strong division kind of prepares you for tough games and close games in the playoff situation. So but the question is, have they closed the gap?
It's tough to say. So there's still a lot of questions on Washington.
Yeah.
There's still questions. Like it still has
Giants
to fit.
are a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Giants are a dumpster fire.
Giants are a dumpster fire.
I still think Washington's closed the gap.
Yeah, because
Cowboys also didn't improve significantly at all, and that's why
they lost players.
If anything, you would argue the opposite. I'm not.
And you can't really say that. I mean, even though, I would say the Eagles didn't necessarily improve on their weaknesses this year as much as they should have by getting like a guy like Saquon Barkley. All they've done is made the Giants worse than what they were.
Right.
Like they didn't improve a heck of a lot more on their defense. Their defense was atrocious last year.
Well, so that means that the gap's closed then.
So then that's why I'm saying that in terms of having Washington come up and still, New York Giants were a bad team last year, so they're kind of staying the same way.
Can't get lower than low.
Yeah, I think it's closed the gap because the ingredients are there for the Washington.
I think the question's kind of a shitty way. It should have been, is the NFC East going to be more competitive in 2024?
Yeah,
I think that's a better question, and I think we can all say, yeah, it's going to be.
And don't worry, we're going to send our follow-up email to Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
after
hey,
this,
Nick,
so
eat me out, Eatman. Just a quick question. Are you fucking stupid, bro?
First of all, send me a
kidding.
pound of what you're smoking because I can't believe you would put that article out.
I can't wait for training camp, AJ, just to get a smoke on and just be fucking chied out.
Can I still buy it?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but let's try. Fuck me. Can you please bring yourself enough flavored tobacco so we don't have to drive around for an hour and a half prior to training camp?
I got it.
Prepared.
I got it. I'm prepared now. Well, guys, I mean, let's not even go through their answers.
I don't even. They're too hard.
We already fucking knew it.
We already. Yes, the NFC East is going to be more competitive.
It's gotta be.
Washington got better. Dallas didn't. You could argue that Dallas's team this year is worse than it was last year. You definitely can argue that the Washington Commanders team's better. You could even argue with Malik Neighbors going to the New York Giants and their new draft picks that they might even be better, right? Like maybe Saquon wasn't the way they should have been running their team. All his years there, they weren't very good. So
yeah,
to me, the NFC East is going to be competitive, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Any final thoughts from any of the boys here?
Well, why don't we let Barry Grant Jr. to kind of promote some of the stuff that he's got going on? He's launched a new channel, a new show. What's the rest of the summer look like for you, BGJ? Fuck me. Not asking you to fuck me, but if you wanted to, I'd take it.
Well, hey now.
That was very forward.
That's supposed to be post podcast combo.
I thought it was.
Did you hear the proposition that he put in there?
Yeah, I know. Hey,
that's
casually drops it in.
That's supposed to happen organically.
That's my
He's slowly brainwashing.
Barry, just send an email to hr@cowboyscanfan.com. I'll deal with this. I was
going to say, unfortunately, it's Adam answering it.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Barry.
Yeah, I think the new channel is doing okay, man. The BJ show. I just had another interview with Gina Fletcher that was really, really good. She had a captivating story, man. Just dealt with a lot of stuff, and she's alive to tell the tale. And it's just one of those things where, that channel is more of a conversational thing and really bringing regular people's lives everybody has a story to light. You know what I mean? So, more of those. I'm probably expecting maybe another one before the summer is up. Yeah. But the All Even podcast is trucking along. We're over 10K, which is good.
Yes, sir.
We're constantly getting engagement, and people still think that I am the most hated man. In regards to small channels, they can't stand me, and that's fine.
They
that's
think,
fine,
or
they think, exactly. You think, you know what I mean? So it's fun, man. I love doing what I'm doing. I love being on here with my guys, talking some Dallas Cowboys.
Your day one for us.
Nothing changes over here, man. The grind continues. You know what I mean?
Love it, brother.
Hey, man, we appreciate having you on. We're going to have Barry Grant Jr. on multiple times going through the season. But, Barry, hey, if you know any people that aren't Cowboys fans, we got a couple words that you can go ahead and tell them. You can tell them to go fuck themselves! Woo! Trying to do that one after, game day when we're, 12 beers done each.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good.
What do I say again? How am I supposed to say it?
It's like a